Welcome to the Business Growth Spotlight, where we shine a light and talk with business leaders from all over the world who are here sharing their expertise and wisdom so we can all grow together. I'm your host, Heidi Schalk, co-founder of HLH Growth Solutions, and we help businesses grow through outside the box visibility and automation strategies. If you're new to the podcast, welcome to the show. We're glad to have you here with us today. And when I say we talk with business leaders from all over the world, we're going to the other side of the world today with my special guest, Jan Harling with Virtus Asia. So welcome, Jan, to the podcast.
Thank you very much for having me.
Absolutely. So can you tell us, Jan, a little bit about yourself, about Virtus Asia, and your role within it?
Sure, very happy. Yeah, I'm in the Far East. I have now spent half my life in Asia. I'm originally from Germany, but 20 years ago, I fell in love with this region. I ended up in China for about 8 years, and I worked my way down south. Started in Beijing, 3 years. I studied in Beijing as well. My Chinese is fairly rusty now. Used to be better. Have worked in agencies in Shanghai, then later on the client side in Shenzhen, the tech hub of China. I got married in Hong Kong. My daughter was born there, did my MBA there, and now I've been spending quite a lot of time in Thailand as well. So yeah, time flies.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wow, it does. So what took you from Germany to Asia, to where you
Uh,
are?
my brother was my brother was one of those lucky expats that were
Okay.
sent to China in the early 2000s. He worked for Mercedes-Benz and yeah, helped to build the China market. And yeah, I got very lucky. I got very excited. And in Germany, it's quite common after high school to take about a gap year. I'm colorblind, so I didn't have to join the army, which meant I had a year of spare time. And yeah, I went to China and I got hooked. Really loved it, and I would consider that period 2006 to 2000, probably 16, the golden area of double-digit growth, and that's when yeah, I was able to join. I fell in love with marketing as well. I worked for Publicis Group and Omnicom Group for many years, a big American marketing giant. And yeah, been able to work on various different roles on the agency side and the client side.
Amazing. So one of the most exciting trends we're seeing is the rise of Asian brands on the global stage. What are some of the biggest opportunities that you see for Asian companies looking to expand internationally today?
Correct. So at Virtus Asia, I'm the CEO and founder. 3.5 years ago, I went on this journey and I looked at the kind of a Venn diagram. It's like, okay, here's what clients need, here's what agencies can and cannot do, and somewhere in the middle, there's room for consultancy. I'm wearing my logo loud and proud wherever I can. Also, it's on the
Ah,
back.
look at that. I love
And
it.
we do work quite heavily with a lot of big brands that are venturing outside. One of our clients is a Thai business that is selling a premium knives, kitchen utensils. They're already available in about 100 countries. We are now trying to enter the Middle East, working with a lot of Chinese like big tech brands that are now very aggressively expanding overseas. The local market in China currently is not doing particularly well. So lots of growth needs to be unlocked overseas, and that's my expertise. That's what I started about 10 years ago when I worked for Huawei. I've worked for Oppo and OnePlus. I was the global media director for these organizations, and yeah, it's quite exciting. The world is yeah getting smaller, and there's a couple of categories that are going to be disrupted. Electric vehicles, for example, is one of those, the electronics market. And yeah, we try to bring in effectiveness and efficiency.
Incredible. So, Young, when Asian brands attempt to enter the Western markets or Western brands enter Asia, what are some of the biggest mistakes they tend to make?
That's a very good question. I think the most important part is localization. A one fits all strategy very rarely works in
Mhm.
both directions. There are some big brands like McDonald's and KFC, and if you look into how they enter the markets, Here in the region, it's with a super local approach, very customized marketing, communication, the store designs to a very heavy degree, the product offerings. It all needs to be localized and adapted, and vice versa. Lots of Asian brands going overseas are having well, at least the China side, very performance-driven approach without the necessary storytelling, without the necessary emotional elements to it that makes it challenging to build lasting brands. The products are great. Lots of the products are incredibly competitive. The pricing is very aggressive, but that's not sufficient to really build a moat around what these brands want to achieve. So I think essentially localization is one very important part. I think the second part is talent. There's a differentiation between an international company and a global company, where international companies have a lot of management coming from the home country, whereas the global companies are picking the best talent from everywhere. And I think a lot of brands that do succeed do find the right local talent as well.
Yeah, that's thank you for sharing that, because it's interesting how when you're wanting to enter different markets, you really need to be aware of what the messaging that you're putting out there, for one. Like, you can solve, we know you're really good at solving this problem, but are you actually getting your message across to the people that you want to sell it to, and or to use it? And that, so thank you for bringing awareness to that, because I didn't even think about that, which is a key point no matter where you are, whether you're selling in your local market or you're selling outside of your local market. You need to understand how they're saying it in their head about the problem that they have and the problem that you solve. Because what works in one area may not necessarily work in another. And storytelling is a huge thing, especially in our market over here in the States. Like, storytelling is very effective. And that's one thing that we share with our clients. It's not just telling people you're genius, you're good at what you do. It's how are you getting that message across and sharing it to where it really touches them emotionally, right? And they connect with it. Connection is really, really key. So thank you for that. Can you share a success story of a company that was trying to expand into a new market and how you all helped them navigate that growth? You don't have to share the company name if you don't want to.
Yeah, very recently we've been working with a quite interesting category that I personally didn't have much engagements with in the past. It's electric lawnmowers.
Ah,
Uh, and yeah, they're coming from Shenzhen. They're quite pricey. We were talking about $5,000 to $8,000 for GPS navigated lawnmowers. And
wow.
yeah, they actually very aggressively selling in both Europe and in the US. And we've helped them to um, improve their targeting. I think firstly, reducing wastage by being very focused on what target they need to go. And then from the media perspective, we've worked with a technology provider that I'm the exclusive reseller for, and we've helped to improve efficiency by about 25%. So they're getting a lot more bang for their buck. And in order to do that, we also had to, I'd say, adjust the KPIs, what really matters to them. And I think this is a universal problem that I still see that from a media perspective, lots of brands are chasing vanity metrics. I always like to
Yeah.
make the joke about, I think it's now 15 years ago, say 2010, 11, Facebook was still relatively new, relatively cool. Every brand for some reason was chasing followers. There was this boom and everyone was just trying to have the most followers. And I think the big question was, what's the real business impact? At the time, no one knew. And then people were looking, yeah, look at this post. It got hundreds of thousands of likes, but again, how did that translate into any business results? And right now, things have evolved, obviously, but we're still looking at brands that are chasing just clicks, just website visits without any quality elements to it. And we're trying to educate the clients that there are different KPIs that really drive the business forward, and then we're trying to very single-minded improve those KPIs. And yeah, clients are pretty happy. Performance is good. One of their lawnmowers sold out before the campaign finished. So
Great. Yeah.
they seem to be very happy.
Yeah, we've been hearing, a lot of people will do partnerships with influencers, and brands will do partnerships with influencers to help get their brand out in an effective way. And what I've heard and what we're seeing is that they used to be, like you said, they used to be looking for the influencers that had huge audiences. But what they were finding once they like looked back on what's working, what's not working, that just because they have a large following doesn't mean that people are actually taking action on the product. So now they're looking at, okay, maybe they're more, maybe micro influencers are some in some areas are better off working with them because if they want to have their if they especially if a micro influencer has their people, their specific target market in their audience and they're actively engaging, they'd rather spend their time with that person, branding with them, partnering with them, than necessarily a bigger influencer that has a huge following but not an engaging audience when it comes to buying. So that's a key piece that businesses need to look at. Yeah.
100%. Actually, we do work with a very big British pharma company here in the APAC region. One of the tasks that we were working on is the influencer strategy overall, and I believe very strongly in earned media value. So you can very clearly define what is the real value in a combination of different factors of each kind of KOL, influencer, whatever you want to name it. And the reality is also the organic reach has been declining. Just because an influencer has a lot of followers does not necessarily mean it's the right choice. And especially you've now with global audiences, you have a product that's relevant to this region, but now you have followers from all over the world. This is something I've seen when I was working for Oppo in the past. We worked with a very big publishing house. They had massive followings on social. Well, it turns out about 40% of that was in markets we don't sell any products in. So I think again, you need to ask the right questions and do the right evaluation. And in an ideal world, what we see also is the best strategy, finding the right content, testing it with influencers on social, and then boosting it with paid media when you found your winner for the week.
Yeah. Great advice. So what separates companies that successfully become global brands from those that struggle to gain traction outside of their home markets?
I think it's a really good question. I believe it consists of multiple elements. I think one is having the right strategy. I think many brands come in and again copy paste what has worked before, which may not lead to the right results. It's also a timeline that is unrealistic. We see a lot of brands chasing, I'll say, very easy, quick wins, but those will be achieved at the expense of long-term growth and doing things the right way, which means you need to do quite a heavy investment into branding, obviously through various different channels, which is changing. We have the World Cup around the corner, actually very close to where you are right now. And what you will be seeing is a lot more Asian brands sponsoring, advertising at scale, and earning the rights to be taken seriously. These investments will not bring results immediately, but they will lay a foundation. So I think that's one very important element for long-lasting success. We already mentioned localization on various different fronts. I think that's really key. And I would say also being able to adapt. It's very important to have a global strategy that is consistent. And say McDonald's is a great example. Many car manufacturers like Mercedes, it's a good example. But they all have the ability on the ground to make it resonate with the audiences and then tell the stories in the right way and be locally and culturally relevant towards that specific audience.
I'll be looking out for those Asian brands that we see with the World Cup because that will be consuming our household soon. My son's already talking about it. He's obsessed. So I'll definitely be watching out for those and see who's coming on the scene there. So Young, AI is changing the way companies conduct research, understand customers, and enter new markets. How are you seeing AI impacting international growth strategies?
I think the speed to market now is so much faster. When I started my career, which is now, well, feels like ages ago, there was no AI conversation back in the days. A lot of decision making needed research, testing commercials in advance takes weeks. building media plans and adjusting them took weeks. Everything just took so much longer. I think now that the time it takes to do these things is massively enhanced. And then also finding the reports. The days of Excel sheets are over. Real-time dashboards, real-time ability to make decisions now are there. I think this is super important. On top of that, when we talk about content creation, the tools that are now at the palm of our hands are already incredibly sophisticated. So I think all of these things have changed, in particularly timing and effort and cost. The only, I think, very important element to consider moving forward is the difference between, what needs to be considered is how to be distinctive and how to stand out from the crowd if you now have the most common denominator for a lot of communication. I give you an example. You will go online and you see these blenders for making smoothies or whatever you want to blend. You look at the content, let's say on Instagram, and you look at 5 different brands. They will all look the same. They use the same music. They use the same kind of AI videos, the same look and feel. There is no more distinctiveness. It is so hard to then remember the brand that you actually try to communicate. So I think the winners that we will see moving forward are the ones that are using the technology in an incredibly smart way, but still find a way to stamp on their own branding and
Yeah.
making it distinct.
Yeah, get creative because that's a big piece. There's so much noise out there. How are you standing out? Because like you said, if there's 5 blenders out there and they're all looking the same and there's no differentiation, and you really come up with a different campaign that will really set you apart and that'll bring brand awareness, right? And top of mind remembrance of when somebody needs a blender, they're gonna be like, okay, which 5 of those were? But oh, well, yeah, I saw that one and it stood out and I'm gonna go check them out, which is key in today's world. So I love that you shared that because I think it's an important piece for businesses to understand no matter where you are in the world. How can you be different? AI is there to support you in efficiency for you, for your teams, for your marketing, speed to lead. It supports with that because when you do have a potential customer coming in, you want to make sure they're getting responded to right away because whoever responds the fastest, not usually the best company that wins. It's who responds the fastest. It seems like these days, right? Win that customer, as long as they're providing that value and that result that that person's looking for. So yeah, such great advice. I'm so loving this conversation. So you've built an impressive career working with global organizations and high growth brands. What are you doing today to continue increasing your visibility, building relationships, and generating new opportunities for Virtus Asia? And I have a question because you've mentioned different brands that you've worked with, and they're all in different industries or different niches. So are you pretty agnostic? Like who on with this question, I'd like to also for the audience to be clear on who are your people? Who are your ideal clients?
That's a very good question. I think as long as you have the fundamental knowledge about marketing, and my specialty always has been media, you can sell anything. How to find insights and then articulate a strategy and then find a way to execute. In my career, I've been able to sell diapers, whitening creams, cars, lots of mobile phones, apps. Yeah, it doesn't really matter. Essentially, knives now, lawnmowers. I'm now doing
I
electric
know that's
lawnmowers. I think it's a fairly universal skill.
yeah.
Obviously, there are specific categories that just need a bit of time to learn. Like I've not done much banking or credit card marketing, but I'm pretty sure I could get around of that as well. I think essentially it's really important to know your craft and really understand audiences. I think this is probably one of the most important skills now to have, and with the wealth of tools that are available to really be able to clearly dissect audiences, understand the low-hanging fruits, be able to size them up, build the right cohorts, and then develop a communication strategy that can be enhanced with AI. And yeah, keeping track of what is working, what's not working. I think one of the reasons why I love what I do is that because something worked last year doesn't mean it's gonna continue to work next year. And the landscape is changing massively. I mean, you just need to look into the development of the last 5 years of the channels and how they're being utilized. New channels are coming up. Some channels that people have been using are slowly dying or faster dying than others. User behavior keeps changing. We now see a lot of communication talking about a connected TV, where to invest your budgets. There's literally unlimited opportunities to spend money as a marketer. How do you make the right choices? Yeah, I kind of love doing that because it just keeps evolving.
Yeah, and you're an expert in what you do. You're really good at what you do. So if somebody needs to really focus in on growing that brand awareness, getting clear with their audience and getting in front of them, you're that person. So how are you doing it for yourself? How are you getting visible and how are your clients finding you?
Well, that's a good question. We've been working in the last 3 years with, I would say, almost 20 different clients. I was very fortunate that lots of clients came from word of mouth. My
Mm.
LinkedIn, I'm not sure from a quality perspective, but quantity is quite okay. I'm approaching, I think, 25,000 followers by end of the year, so I may consider myself a micro influencer at some point. LinkedIn is very very important. Lots of communications are happening there. It's like my in my Rolodex. Lots of people are changing jobs. This is a great way to keep in touch with people and share your point of view, build a certain perception. I do a lot of judging, award judging. I've done probably over 90 different award judging gigs
Oh,
overall.
wow.
That's what keeps me busy on the weekends on a regular basis, and it serves me on a silver platter the best work. And yeah, I love reading these entries. I love judging ads and yeah, communication strategies, and I'm trying to learn more, bring that to my clients, bring that to my team. So I'd say LinkedIn is important. The judging gigs are quite important to build a profile and keep learning and also meet a lot of fellow judges.
Yeah.
Today is a great opportunity on a podcast to be exposed to a wider yeah audience pool. So quite happy for that. Um, yeah, I think those are the ones that really work, plus word of mouth. I think overall doing good work and people knowing you for a certain skill set and referring you is still incredibly important. We also do once a year we call it CMO challenges white paper where we interview senior marketing leaders and ask them a few questions of where the market is heading, what is changing, what is not changing, and try to package that, so a bit of thought leadership on that as well. And we share that via newsletters and LinkedIn, and yeah, get some good positive feedback. But there's still room to do more and to do better.
Congratulations on all your growth. Sounds like you've got it dialed in, which is incredible and awesome, for lack of a better word. And congratulations on your growth on LinkedIn as well. I know some people are very challenged on that platform, so that is really good to hear that you're doing it. So for those of you listening, if you're challenged on LinkedIn, go check out his profile. We're going to tell you how to get there soon. So as companies expand internationally, what usually becomes the biggest bottleneck? Is it leadership, culture, systems, execution, market understanding, or something else that you're seeing?
Ooh, that's a really good question. I would almost say all of the above, to a certain degree. Let's see if I can name a really good example. I think Forever 21, I just saw, has their third approach trying to enter China. So it's
Oh,
the same company. It's probably then a mix again of different leadership. It's a mix of different funding. It's probably a different set of strategic priorities, but it is now the third try that they've made. Some brands have been doing incredibly well. I'm naming again China as an example, Volkswagen. They were one of the first brands 30 plus years ago entering the market. They captured probably 40% market share at some point, and now they're struggling partially because the cars are not necessarily as competitive as they used to be. The Chinese are doing really well. the brand is still there, but the market share is declining rapidly. Entering new markets, I think, yeah, really needs the right leadership, needs the right strategic approach, and needs the right level of investment and timeline. So probably all the elements that you mentioned are going to play a role to a certain degree, for sure.
So looking ahead over the next few years, what opportunities excite you the most when it comes to Asian brands, global expansion, and business growth?
Yeah, currently I see a few categories that are going to be disrupted. I think firstly, it's the EVs. Um, I'm a German, and it pains me to say that, but the cars are not necessarily competitive enough, because you get such great cars now coming out of China with great quality for a fraction of the price. They are probably not the same when it's coming to an A/B comparison, but in an economically challenged climate, lots of consumers will be opting for these cars, and I think that will change the balance globally over the next 5 years. And I've seen it here in my market on how fast it can happen. That shift of massive change happens over the course of literally 5 years, which is fairly quickly. The other category, and I have to name again those lawnmowers, is premium technology, very sophisticated laser printers, 3D printers. Yeah, these lawnmowers, drones. There are amazing brands out there. They're fairly young, incredibly driven, and they will be coming coming out, and I think they will come very hard, very quick, and probably won't have much competition outside. I was at CES in Las Vegas in January this year, and it felt like half the brands there were all coming out of Asia. It was quite impressive to see how fast that has changed. And the innovation is quite incredible. The level of investment and drive to really do that. On top of that, I think it is supported by an environment that really allows them to grow faster, and they embrace AI overall. Yeah, I would say there's a few categories that are about to be disrupted.
Yeah, I'll see it coming. So thanks for giving us the heads up. So look, for you, if you could instantly improve in at one aspect of growth, visibility, market experience, or operational efficiency, like wave that magic wand and instantly improve it inside of Virtus Asia, what would it be and why?
Hmm. I think I'm still spending way too much time on admin work. There's still the old school emails and foldering items and trying to, yeah, project manage certain things. We're getting better and we're getting faster, but this is still a headache. I would love to spend more time on strategic thinking and, I won't necessarily call it visionary work, but finding those pockets of time where I can really focus. And I do hope that AI will help me to free up some time for that. So
Yeah.
operational efficiency is something that I'm quite keen to improve.
Yeah, I think we're hearing that a lot across a lot of business owners, CEOs, founders. Jan, can you share with us how our audience can connect with you and reach out and learn more about you?
Sure. Well, visit me on LinkedIn. Add me on LinkedIn. Check out virtusasia.com. It's a quite nice website. Anyone who's willing to connect, I'm happy to send over my CMO challenges white paper. And I have a group of very sophisticated veterans that I have been working with for over a decade. And yeah, we love to take on new challenges. Happy to
Amazing.
support.
Go connect with him and grab that. Ask him for the white paper. So if you're watching us on YouTube, Young and I say hello and thank you. If you know of anybody that would benefit from this conversation and hearing all the wisdom and incredibleness that he shared with us today, please send him this interview. If you're listening to us on your favorite podcast platform, thank you. If you'd be so inclined and would like to leave us a review, we would love 5 stars. That helps the podcast platform push this interview out to more people so more people can become aware of Virtus Asia and Young. But go connect with him on LinkedIn. We have all of his information inside the show notes, including his bio, all of his social media links, and go to virtusasia.com and learn more. He does have a really good website, by the way. He wasn't lying there. It's really good. I've been to it. I'm like, whoa, this is impressive. So he knows what he's doing. He's definitely an expert in his space. So if this is what you need inside of your business, then go connect and reach out with him and get that white paper. Yang, before I let you go, is there anything that you'd like to share, say that I didn't ask you or we didn't touch on today?
No, all good. That was fun. Very natural. Good job.
Well, thank you. Thank you for being here. And especially because it's 9 p.m. Well, now it's more like 9:40 your time in the evening. So for those of you listening, I mean, it's been a long day for him and he's got a youngin' so at home. So he's been up since 5 a.m. and he's still going today. So thank you. I appreciate you extending your day to be here with us and spend time and share. So very grateful. Thank you so much.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And maybe we'll have you back in a year and see how things are growing and evolving in the markets. So thank you for being here, Yang. Thank you all for listening to us and being here. Don't forget to share this episode with people that would benefit from this. And I look forward to seeing you all on the next episode of the Business Growth Spotlights.